This is for class 10. We are continuing with the chapter life processes. Let's see respiratory system in humans in this part. Now the respiratory system in humans consists of the following parts. It starts from nostrils, nasal cavity, pharynx, trachea, thoracic cavity, bronchi, bronchioles and alveoli. Now, before we study each and every part in detail, let's first see the diagram of human respiratory system. This you have studied in the lower classes also. Let's take a quick look. Okay, just see, this is nose. So the respiratory system, the first organ, it is nostrils. There are two nostrils present. Then they move inside the nasal cavity. So the next is nasal cavity. Then what is this? This is buccal cavity or food cavity. They enter into the common passage which is called as pharynx. From pharynx, the nasal cavity continues in the larynx. Then trachea, bronchi, sub-branching, these sub-branches are called as bronchioles, and bronchioles end in the balloon-like structures called as alveoli. So two nostrils and two lungs which are present on either side of our chest cavity. The lungs are the delicate organs, so they are protected inside the rib cage. So here ribs are also present, right? To move air in and out of the lungs, a sheet of muscle is also present which is called as diaphragm. So this is the complete structure of human respiratory system. Now let's see these parts one by one. Always keep the diagram of human respiratory system in front of you and then study each and every part in detail. So the first part is nostril. What are nostrils? Nostrils are the nasal openings through which air is drawn into nasal cavity. Nostrils से nasal cavity में air pass होती है, right? The nasal passages. अब जो nasal passage है, how is that nasal passage? It is lined by ciliated epithelium. I hope you remember what is ciliated epithelium. Ciliated means hairs are present, okay, and mucus secreting cells are also present in the nasal cavity. Why are these present? Both mucus and cilia check the entry of dust particles and microbes. In nasal cavity, air is warmed and moistened. Nasal cavity ends in internal nostrils through which air enters into pharynx. Okay, from nasal cavity, this clean, warm and moist air enters into pharynx. What is this pharynx? This pharynx is nothing but the common passage for air and food, right? From pharynx, the air moves on to trachea, right? While swallowing the food, a flap of skin is present at the start point or the anterior end, which is also called as anterior end of trachea, which is nothing but the start point of trachea. One flap of skin like structure is present which is called as epiglottis. Now the function of this epiglottis is it prevents food or water from entering into the respiratory ट्रैक्ट. देखिए कभी कभी ऐसे होता है कि खाना खाते समय अगर कोई फूड और वाटर का पार्टिकल इफ इट एंटर्स इनटू द विंड पाइप तो हमें बहुत तेज खांसी आती है, राइट? तो ऐसा क्यों होता है? जब हेस्टिली खाते हैं हम तब ये सब चीजें होती है, राइट? तो यूजुअली व्हेन वी ईट फूड व्हाट हैपन्स, जो विंड पाइप जो है जिसमें से एयर पास होती है वो कवर हो जाती है विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस flap which is present at the anterior end of trachea, which is called as epiglottis, so that food and water particles do not enter the respiratory tract, right? Then from pharynx the air has moved into the trachea. अब ये trachea क्या है? Trachea is about 11 centimeter in length and 2.5 centimeter in diameter. It is made up of cartilaginous rings. Cartilaginous rings का मतलब होता है रिंग्स के फॉर्म में बहुत सारी रिंग्स, आप सोचिए एक स्टैक बना देंगे तो हाउ इट विल लुक लाइक, वैसा उसका स्ट्रक्चर होता है और बोनी स्ट्रक्चर नहीं है, वो कार्टिलेज से बने हुए होते हैं। वो क्यों कार्टिलेज के बने हुए हैं, क्यों नॉर्मल ट्यूबिंग नहीं है? वो कार्टिलेजिनियस इसलिए होता है which prevents the trachea from collapsing even if there is not much air in it. Okay, now the trachea is lined internally by ciliated epithelium and mucus secreting cells, जो हमने nasal tract में भी बोला है, right? होता है। The mucus and cilia both prevent the entry of dust particles and microbes. Then trachea runs down the neck and extends into thoracic cavity. Right? Trachea जो है वो आगे thoracic cavity जो होता है उसमें extend होता है, right? On entering the thoracic cavity, trachea divides into bronchi, right? Just look at the diagram and then study, okay? अब thoracic cavity divide होती है into bronchi, 2 bronchi होते हैं, right? bronchi जो होते हैं वो और divide होते हैं, redivide होते हैं to form finer branches called bronchioles. छोटे branches होते हैं वो, पतले। सिंगल bronchi जो होता है उसको बोलेंगे bronchus. So there are 2 bronchi present, okay? Single is called as bronchus और bronchus जो होता है it redivides to form fine branches called bronchioles. Then see bronchioles, then each bronchiole divides into a cluster of tiny air chambers called air sacs और alveoli. ठीक है, हमने जो balloon like structures बोले हैं उसको बोलेंगे हम लोग alveoli. Singular is called as alveolus. Alveoli are called functional units of lungs. Actual exchange of gases takes place in alveolus. That is why they are called as functional units of lungs. And they are the actual sites of respiratory gas exchange. There are about 750 million alveoli present in lungs, right? Alveoli are covered with network of blood vessels. Again, we will see the diagram first. Okay, what we have said, see these are the 2 bronchi, singular is bronchus, right? Then each bronchus redivides itself into sub branches, right? And by repeated divisions they end into this balloon like structures. Each bronchiole ends into a, right? It ends into balloon like structure called as alveoli. alveoli. It is a cluster of air sacs called as alveoli. Okay, singular is alveolus. Now, actual exchange of gases takes place in these balloon-like structures called as alveoli. Okay, now these bronchi, they enter, there are two bronchi present, they enter into two lungs. Two lungs are present. Now, what are these lungs? The lungs are a pair of spongy, highly elastic and bag-like organs in which bronchi is present, bronchioles are present, alveoli are present, then blood vessels, network of blood vessels is present. All these are present. All from here, this complete is present inside the lungs. They are situated in the thoracic cavity, right? Lungs are situated in the thoracic cavity. The lower surface of the lungs rests on a diaphragm. This diaphragm is nothing but a sheet of muscles, right? Which helps in breathing, right? Now, during breathing, what happens? When we breathe in air, what happens? Ribs move upwards and outwards. It means our chest size increases, right? Because ribs move upwards and outwards. Diaphragm pulled down and flatten. Lungs size increase as we fill air inside our lungs. So lung size increases, right? During breathe out, when we breathe out the air, what happens? Just reverse. Ribs return to original position. Diaphragm returns to original dome-like pattern. And lungs size decrease. So this is the difference between breathe in and breathe out. What happens to ribs, what happens to diaphragm, and what happens to the size of lungs. Very, very easy to understand. This breathe in is nothing but inhalation process and breathe out is nothing but exhalation process. Okay, now let's understand how exchange of gases takes place in the alveolus. Just see this diagram. This is a balloon-like structure called as alveolus, and surrounding that alveolus there is a dense network of blood capillaries present, or blood vessels present, very, very minute, through which blood flows. Now, what happens? See, in our blood, the color of our blood is red. Why it is red? Because of the presence of pigment called as hemoglobin, right? This hemoglobin has a great affinity for oxygen. Oxygen easily gets linked with the hemoglobin, and this oxygen through when it gets linked with the hemoglobin, it becomes oxyhemoglobin. So oxygen combines with the hemoglobin in the blood to form oxyhemoglobin, and it is carried to all the cells of the body, right? And carbon dioxide, which is produced as a waste during the breakdown of food or during the respiration process, it enters into our blood. Carbon dioxide is easily soluble in water as compared to oxygen. Okay, so it remains in the blood, and when we exhale, right, so at that time during this exhalation process, when we breathe out, this carbon dioxide is removed along with the air we breathe out. Right? In this way, exchange of gases takes place in alveolus. Now, what happens? See, in the alveoli, atmospheric air is entering also, and then what happens? See here, blood capillaries are surrounding the alveolus. So, the blood which is coming towards the alveolus, so it is rich in carbon dioxide, right? So, in this blood, this is a used up blood, right, which is rich in carbon dioxide. So here see, through the thin walls or the thin membrane of alveolus, carbon dioxide from the blood is taken away by the alveolus by the process of diffusion, right? And the air which has freshly entered the alveolus, so it is rich in oxygen. So now see, from here carbon dioxide is taken away from the blood, and here oxygen is added in the blood, right? And blood flowing from alveolus carrying oxygen. And this carbon dioxide which enters the alveolus from the used up blood, so it goes out of the lungs by the process of exhalation. And during the process of inhalation, the air rich in oxygen comes in the alveolus. Here again diffusion of this oxygen takes place. It gets mixed with the blood, it gets linked with the hemoglobin, right? And it is transported to each and every cell of our body. So this is how exchange of gases takes place in the alveolus. Alveolus has got a very thin membrane through which diffusion becomes very easy and efficient. Do you know that lungs are the only organs in the body that can float? One question is usually asked in your exams. The question is, why is diffusion insufficient to meet the oxygen requirements of multicellular organisms like human? See, we have seen in lower animals, through the body surface only the exchange of gases through diffusion can take place. But in multicellular organisms, this is not possible, right? To meet the oxygen requirements of the body of multicellular organism. Why? The reason is, see, unlike unicellular organisms, in higher multicellular forms, including man, every cell of the body is not in direct contact with the external environment. Whereas if you see in amoeba, paramecium, the entire body is in contact with the external environment. So only the surface layer cells of skin are exposed to the surrounding environment. In us, only the skin cells are in contact with they are exposed to the external environment. And the rest of the body cells of internal organs are not in direct contact with environment. So exchange of gases by diffusion is not possible in these cells as they are present inside the body of the multicellular organisms. So exchange of gases by diffusion is not possible, right? Thus multicellular organisms require certain specialized organs for breathing, right? Exchange of gases and transport of gases to meet the oxygen requirement. That is why in multicellular or in higher animals, special respiratory system is always present. Why? Because each and every cell of the body is not in direct contact with the external environment in higher or multicellular organisms. So this is the reason why multicellular organisms or higher organisms like humans have specialized respiratory organs. One more thing, see, when we inhale and exhale air, so how much percentage of different gases do we inhale and exhale? It is given in this table. This is very important. See, oxygen, carbon dioxide and water vapor. You must be knowing that when we exhale out air, so along with air, water vapor is also present in the exhaled air, right? So oxygen we inhale 21%. 21% is present in air only, right? And how much do we exhale? It is 16.4% is exhaled out. Okay, or it is exhaled. Then carbon dioxide in air, only 0.04% of carbon dioxide is present. How much do we exhale? It is 4.4%. And water vapor, very little is present in the inhaled air and a lot is exhaled during the process of respiration. these percentages you must know. Okay, one activity is also given in your book to demonstrate that we breathe out carbon dioxide. See what is done. Two test tubes are taken, test tube A and test tube B. In both the test tubes, lime water is taken, right? And in test tube A, what is done? We have taken a pitchkari or a syringe, right? And we have blown air into the lime water. Whereas in test tube B, through one tube is taken or a capillary tube is taken, and we have blown through that tube air into this test tube. So this is the situation, right? So now we know that when we pass carbon dioxide through a lime water, it turns milky. This is the test for carbon dioxide. This we know. Why does it turn milky? Because of the formation of white precipitate of calcium carbonate, right? So when we pass air with the help of this syringe, then it takes a very, very long time for the lime water to turn milky. Why? Because the percentage of carbon dioxide which is present in air is only 0.04%. Just now 0.04%, just now we have seen this, right? Whereas when we blow air with our mouth into the test tube, this test tube B, which consists of lime water, then it takes lesser time to turn milky. Why? Because the exhaled air contains 4.4% of carbon dioxide. That is why I just now I showed you the percentage of gases in inhaled and exhaled air. So in air only 0.04% of carbon dioxide is present, whereas in exhaled air 4.4% of carbon dioxide is present, and that is why this test tube in which we have blown air with our mouth, it takes shorter time to turn milky. One more activity is given in your book about fermentation, that is anaerobic respiration. See what we have done. We have taken a test tube, take some fruit juice or sugar solution in the test tube and add yeast to it, right? Then cover this test tube with a cork having one hole, then insert one bent tube, and the other end of the bent tube has to open in another vessel containing lime water, right? Now this is the arrangement. What will happen? We know that yeast do anaerobic respiration, and what are the products of anaerobic respiration?